A lot of men aren't failing at love because they're not good enough. They're just playing by the wrong rules. They've been led to believe that relationships are built on sincerity, effort, and emotional vulnerability. So they pour themselves into it. They initiate every conversation. They explain their intentions. They stay loyal. And yet, it often doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, women respond to strength, not proof. Most guys are stuck in the mindset that love has to be earned, like it's something they can secure through constant demonstrations. They try to show they're trustworthy, that they're different from the rest, that they'd never hurt her. So they keep giving. They over-explain. They apologize even when they're not at fault. They stick around, even when they're being taken for granted. They jump through emotional hoops, hoping she'll finally recognize their worth. But here's what they're missing. Women don't fall for the man who gives the most. They fall for the one who stirs the deepest emotions. And that emotion? It's not safety, it's power. Machiavelli once said the illusion of power often outweighs real power. In relationships, that translates clearly. When she feels your strength, she relaxes. But if she senses you're trying to prove yourself to her, she instantly picks up on the fact that you don't fully believe in your own worth. And if you don't believe in it, she won't either. Let's break down how this shows up in real situations. Say you're single and you meet a woman who captivates you. She's beautiful, clever, full of charm. You start texting her often, trying to stand out. You shower her with compliments. You open up too quickly, thinking that will create a bond. But to her, it just looks like you're chasing approval. And when interest turns into performance, the respect she might have felt fades away. What should you do instead? Pull back, just a bit. Let your presence carry more weight than your words. Keep your conversation short but meaningful. Make her wonder about you instead of constantly offering up your thoughts. Now, if you're already in a relationship or married, and you notice a shift, she's distant, cold, not herself, your instinct might be to try harder. You ask her questions. You over-apologize. You go out of your way to show you're still the reliable guy she first fell for. But that's where you fall into the trap. Because the second she sees you scrambling to be chosen again, she knows you've forgotten your own worth. Never sacrifice your self-respect just to keep a temporary sense of peace. Speak your truth once, then let your silence hold the line. Set your boundary and don't waver. Stay steady even when things get uncomfortable. The men who leave a lasting impression on women aren't the ones who overgave. They're the ones who never needed to prove anything in the first place. Because women don't admire the man who seeks validation. They admire the man who walks in like he already belongs there. Let's keep going, because the next truth is even more subtle, and if you don't spot it early, you'll lose your edge before you even know it's gone. Here's the second truth. If you're not the one setting the tests, then you're the one being tested. Most men grow up thinking that only women have the right to test and evaluate. They expect to be judged, questioned, and measured, so they accept it. They play along, hoping to pass. They try to earn approval by trying harder and aiming to impress. And when they do that, when they step into the game already trying to win her over, they've unknowingly surrendered control before it even begins. But here's what a man with real presence understands. If you're not the one setting the tone, then she is. She shapes the dynamic. She sets the pace. She defines the rules. And before you even realize it, you're no longer the chooser. You're the one waiting to be picked. Machiavelli captured this perfectly. A wise ruler doesn't rely on loyalty blindly. He tests it first. In modern love, that wisdom still applies. You don't sit back and wait to find out who she really is once your heart's already involved. You create moments that reveal it early on. Do it with calm, with subtlety, not to play games or manipulate, but to observe, to understand. If you're single, your job isn't just to make her like you. It's to create space for her to show whether she's even worth your attention. And you can do that without saying a word. Let the silence linger. Watch what she does when you don't rush in to fill the gap. Mention something that truly matters to you, a value, a principle, and notice whether she engages or tunes out. Pull your focus back a little. See if she reaches for it or fades away. If she resists your boundaries, mocks your standards, or treats emotional closeness like a free prize, she's revealing more than she knows. Most men miss that signal, and when her real self finally surfaces months later, they act blindsided. If you're already in a relationship, shift your attention to the small signals, the quiet tests. Bring up something difficult. Then watch. Does she face it with grace or fold under the pressure? Try disagreeing with her in a respectful way. Does she stay grounded, or does she lash out? Set limits on your time, your energy, your focus. Then simply notice how she responds. You're not trying to expose her. You're measuring reality. Because love isn't just about feeling good. It's about enduring the weight of real life. And a woman who can't stay steady when the mood changes won't be your ally when the mission gets tough. This isn't about turning your partner into your rival. It's about protecting the dynamic that keeps desire alive. Polarity matters. Keep that edge sharp. See how she reacts to limits. Don't become so predictable that she forgets you have a backbone. A single firm no today might protect everything you've built tomorrow. Never forget this. The man who avoids testing a woman's depth is the same man who ends up shocked when he discovers it was never there to begin with. Let's keep moving, because this next truth challenges one of the most common modern myths about love. Truth number 3, vulnerability, when shared without leverage, is self-sabotage. We're told to open up, be honest, lay our feelings out right away. But Machiavelli would laugh at that. He understood something many modern men don't. That vulnerability, when revealed at the wrong moment, isn't strength. It's exposure. And in love, what keeps it alive isn't oversharing. It's the subtle tension that comes from knowing something could be lost. Here's the point. When you bare your soul too quickly, you don't build intimacy. You kill the mystery. You take the suspense out of the story and hand her a blueprint to your softest spots. And unless she's earned her way into that part of you, she won't protect it. She'll test it. Or worse, she'll use it against you. If you're single and you meet someone new, and that spark hits, you feel connected, hopeful, your instinct might be to spill everything. Your traumas, your regrets, the pain you've carried. You think it shows how deep you are. But to her, it often reads as control, not depth. Because suddenly, she's holding the emotional upper hand. And just like that, instead of being the grounded, magnetic man with mystery and momentum, you become the guy who told his whole story in the first chapter. So here's the better way. Make her earn the right to hear your heart. Drop small insights, not emotional monologues. Let your silence, your pause, your presence carry the weight that your wounds never should have. Reveal things slowly, with purpose. Only share the weight of your truth with a woman who's proven she can actually carry it. If you're in a relationship or married, this trap becomes harder to spot and even more dangerous. You've likely been together for a while, maybe months, maybe years. You want to keep the connection alive, to feel closer, so you start opening up more. You begin oversharing. You lay out every fear, every insecurity, every emotional storm inside you, hoping she'll understand and hold space for it. At first, she does. But over time, something subtle shifts. She starts looking at you differently, not because you're weak, but because you've lost your grounding. She didn't sign up to be your therapist. She wants to stand beside a man who leads his life with direction and clarity, not one who spills every emotional thread in search of validation. So here's the better way forward. Don't close off, but also don't collapse into her arms looking for stability. Still be honest. Still share your truth. But do it from a place of strength, not confusion. Let her into your mind, without asking her to manage your emotions. Because when a man reveals too much, too soon, he drains the very tension that once made him compelling. So stay authentic, but do it with intention. Let your emotional world unfold like a well-told story, not a raw confession. Not because you have something to hide, but because what every woman respects most is your frame. And if you hand her the whole playbook before she's even earned it, don't be shocked when she starts rewriting the rules. Now let's keep going. Because what's coming next is one of those truths no one says out loud, but every man eventually learns, usually the hard way. Here's the fourth truth. The man she rewards isn't the one who doubts himself. It's the one who makes her question herself. Most men try to be the rock, the constant, the forever their comfort. They want to be dependable, reliable, the guy she can count on, morning to night, for every emotion, every moment. They think that being always available will win her loyalty. But here's the paradox. The man she never has to wonder about is the one she stops desiring. Because comfort without contrast leads to boredom. And endless availability turns your presence into background noise. Machiavelli warned us long ago, the one who helps another rise in power often ends up destroyed by it. In love, that means this. The more you focus on making her feel safe, the more you weaken the very edge that attracted her in the first place. The more instantly you respond, the more clearly you explain, the more constantly you reassure, the more you transform from a man she's drawn to into emotional scaffolding she leans on, but never craves. If you're single and you meet a woman you vibe with, you want her to see you're serious. So you reply to text right away. You agree to everything. You clarify her doubts with long messages full of reassurance. At first, she seems delighted. But slowly, her replies get shorter. Her tone cools off. That initial spark fades. Why? Because she never got the space to feel desire. You gave her certainty, but robbed her of curiosity. She never had room to wonder, to imagine. If you're in a relationship or married, this pattern shows up in how you handle her moods. When she gets cold, you warm up. When she feels off, you dig deeper, plan thoughtful gestures, check in too often. She says she feels distant, and you rush in with emotional comfort. And sure, it might feel loving. But here's the hidden cost. It chips away at the polarity between you. Because the more predictable your emotional responses become, the more she starts seeing you as an extension of her own shifting moods, not a man she follows or trusts to lead. So what's the strategy? Don't ghost her. Don't play childish games. But reintroduce a bit of tension. Let your silence stretch. Be present, but don't perform. Allow her to feel your absence once in a while, even just emotionally. Let her miss you without a countdown. Take longer to reply sometimes. Not to be cruel, but to protect your energy and reclaim your edge. Because when a woman starts to wonder whether she still fully owns you, she starts chasing what she once took for granted. Let's keep going. Because what comes next is even darker, and the truth of it hits hard. Most men never fully recover once it breaks them. Here's the fifth truth. You have to be willing to walk away, not to make a scene, not as a threat, but quietly, with certainty. This is where most men fold, because this step requires more than confidence. It takes discipline, the kind of cold resolve that doesn't flinch when tested. If she crosses the line, if she lies, disrespects your boundaries, or continues playing emotional power games, you don't explain. You don't beg her to see your worth. You don't scold her like a disappointed parent. You leave, not to punish her, but to protect your throne. Too many men stay far too long. They try to fix what's broken. They try to understand what shouldn't be tolerated. Most men stick around for just one more bad day, one more insult, one more emotional storm, hoping that maybe, just maybe, she'll finally see his worth. But she won't, because the second you accept what you once swore you never would, something shifts in her eyes. You stop being the man she respects. Machiavelli never wrote about love, but he understood betrayal better than most. He once said, "Injuries must be inflicted all at once, so they are less tasted. Benefits must be given little by little, so they are more appreciated." What does that mean in this context? It means when your boundaries are crossed, truly crossed, you don't pause. You don't hesitate. You don't negotiate. You vanish, completely, instantly, and without theatrics. You don't cry. You don't post cryptic quotes online. You don't type out a long emotional explanation of why you're done. You let silence say it all. Because that silence, that absence, is the final sentence. Not just for her, but for every woman who meets you from that point on. In real life, if you're single and she plays hot and cold, flirts with other men to get your attention, or disrespects your time, you don't chase clarity. You walk away with calm conviction. If you're in a relationship or married, and she breaks the unspoken code, mocks you publicly, belittles your purpose, violates your trust, you don't raise your voice. You don't argue or plead. You simply leave the table. Sure, you can try to reclaim the dynamic if it's worth saving. But if you can't, walk away with calm, with power, with a decision that doesn't need to be explained twice. And what happens next? She spirals. She pokes. She tries to draw you back in. Maybe she guilt trips you. Maybe she cries. But underneath it all, she knows what really happened. She lost a man who meant what he said. And the next time you walk into a room, people feel something different. It's not bitterness. It's not revenge. It's presence. It's an energy that quietly says, "I don't need to be loved. I need to be respected." And that's non-negotiable. Now let's wrap this up. Because once you truly live these 5 truths, you don't just stop playing the game. You flip the board and write your own rules. If you're still here, it means you've already chosen to rise above the noise, to elevate. You're focused now. You're tuned into the things that actually build you, sharpen you, and make you immovable. And what's next might just flip your mindset entirely. Love isn't the gentle poetry they told you it was. It's not a fairy tale. It's a battlefield made of instincts and perception. And the man who wins in it, he's not the one who gave the most. He's the one who never gave himself away. You were told to be soft, to open up, to prove yourself with effort, with vulnerability, with constant availability. But no one warned you. That love without strategy is a trap. That if you don't understand the game, it will break you. Modern love isn't cruel. It's calculated. It's not evil, it's primal. An instinct doesn't care about how much you meant well. It responds to presence, to posture, to the silence you hold when most men would beg. A woman doesn't follow the man who performs. She follows the one she cannot move. The one who can stand in her storm and still choose clarity. The one who faces temptation and stays true to his own code. Because in the end, the man she remembers, the one she respects, is the one who chose integrity over approval. Not cold-hearted, just unshakable. Not distant, just exact. You're not here to be just another man who falls in love. You're here to be the man she remembers long after love has failed. The one who never gave up his crown just to keep the peace. The one who saw the game for what it was and mastered it. So move like a sovereign. Speak like you're carrying thunder in your chest. Decide like a man whose throne isn't up for debate. And when the world calls you too calm, too quiet, too cold, let them. Because the man who knows when to strike never has to beg for power again. So stay intentional, stay rooted, stay untouchable, and walk like every step is a quiet reminder. I set the rules now. If this message hit home, if something inside you just clicked, then check out my book, The Undeniable Man. It's not fluff. It's not tricks. It's a no BS guide built for men who want to lead, attract, and dominate in love and in life. Whether you're single or already with someone, this is your edge. This is how you separate yourself from 99% of other men. And it's something you'll use daily. The link's in the description. And if this message spoke to you, don't just think about it. Comment, even a few words. It helps you lock it in, and it might help another man do the same. Hit the like button if you found value in this. And share it with someone who needs to hear it. You'll know who that is. We're all just trying to get sharper, stronger, clearer inside. So let's build minds that don't bend and hearts that don't beg.